What's up, besties? It's your girl Kels, and we're back with another video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'm excited about today's topic. We're going to be talking all things PCOS, how I reverse my symptoms using holistic methods, and the natural way. Now, disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, not a medical professional. I am in training to be a holistic health coach, but this is not medical advice, okay? This is only what works for me, and that is where I'm taking my advice from, basically. So yeah, that's why I'm really excited about this video, because I can personally relate, and I just want to be able to help you out if you're feeling stuck on your PCOS journey, or if you just got diagnosed and you don't know where to start. That was me. There's so much information out there. I literally was Googling everything under the sun after I was diagnosed and literally thought I had like a brain tumor. It was just a lot. So please don't go that route. Definitely seek out professional help. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the type of practitioners you could seek that are a little more holistic, but we're going to get into that. Thank you guys for tuning in. So excited that my besties are back here. Make sure that you are sharing this channel as well, commenting, let me know what you guys want to see. I just want to be your wellness bestie. So with that in mind, leave comments below of any videos that you guys want to see, what you need help with on your wellness journey, because I'm here for you, and we are going to get after it this year. So as you can tell by the title, we're unlocking wellness. We're going to talk about my journey to holistically reversing my PCOS. I'm basically going to give you like 5 tips that you can use to just start with as a baseline, because of course it can be hard to know where to start. So for starters, I was diagnosed with PCOS in 2018. I had lost my period, basically. It just went away. I stopped getting my period. I think it was like a 3-month period that I was not getting my cycle, and I was like, okay, what the heck's going on? Something is wrong. And I was right. Something was wrong. Not only was I super stressed at this time, I was still an undergrad. I was working at a school where I was like a kindergarten aide. So I was in the classroom with some badass kids all day long. And when I went home, I was definitely not prioritizing just like my wellness, eating. So I know it looks different now, but we had some technical difficulties. Really another day. I don't even know what it looks like behind me. I tried so hard to get as much daylight left possible for shooting and filming. This content creator back camera stuff is scary. The important fact is that I'm back. We're gonna continue the message, but just if you see anything in the background, just know. We're gonna go with it. Just ignore it. But yeah, I'm not really sure where the camera cut me off. You guys know I was diagnosed with PCOS. The most important thing I can say about it though is that there are root causes for PCOS, and a lot of the doctors, Western medicine is not going to look for those root causes. It's going to try to put a patch on your symptoms rather than seeing what is the reason for all of the symptoms. So that's the kind of journey that I had to go on myself outside of the doctor. But I'm going to break it down for you today so that you, if you need to, can do some of these same things. If you're not looking to go the traditional birth control route, or you want to try things in addition to Western medicine that could improve your symptoms, I'm your girl. No judgment to whatever your decisions are. This is your journey, but definitely can give you some advice based on what I went through. So I will say I did not get on birth control, but I did start taking basically like a synthetic progesterone so that it could trigger my period so that I could have a regular cycle. So if you go to the doctor, for example, you have PCOS and you're having irregular cycles, they're likely gonna give you a prescription to trigger your cycle. Just know that likely these hormones are not real. So you're putting synthetic hormones into your body, and nothing wrong with that if that's your decision, but just know that it does kind of slow down the process of your body learning how to regulate on its own. So if you do ever get off of those medications in the future, just know that it's going to take a little bit of time for your body to regulate and get on its natural cycle. Okay, so let's just talk about it. Food. Food. I know food can be triggering, whatever your relationship with food may be, but what we're going to focus on talking about today is nutrient-dense foods, okay? Because I know that a lot of us, depending on what we do for a living, we are on the move, okay? So the easiest thing to do is to grab some processed food on the way home, because who can be bothered with cooking every night? Whatever. Trust me, I was there in 2018, living a very fast-paced life. I did not have time to really cook or even prepare food, think about food, because I was just so tired all the time. If that's you, I am 100% here with you. What I can say is something that I learned in school is about crowding out. And that is the best piece of advice that I can give anyone who's starting off on their PCOS journey. Crowd out your foods with 1 to 2 new foods a week that are nutrient dense. So you're going to focus on things like fruits and vegetables, whole grains, nuts, beans, legumes, and of course your protein. That's going to be what you're going to want to focus on, and reducing the amount of, like, you go to the grocery store, you grab packaged foods, right? You're going to want to stay on the outer aisles of the grocery store where the produce is, where your meats, your cheeses, your dairy, where that is, if dairy works for you, because those are going to be your less processed food. Let me just tell you. Now, I don't really want to bring diets into it, but when I went to my functional medicine doctor that finally got me to the root cause of my PCOS, one of the first things we did was an elimination diet. So what that is when you start eliminating things like processed foods. I noticed the biggest difference in my body when I started eliminating processed foods. My inflammation went down. I was less puffy. Like, my face is not as puffy when I focus on these things, when I prioritize nutrient dense foods. And I know it can be overwhelming when you think about eating healthy, because we have deemed certain things healthy and unhealthy. For example, some people think that, dairy is unhealthy. Some people who may be vegan think that meat is not the most healthy for you. But you're going to want to just have no judgment toward food, right? Because you're looking at food as a way to nourish your body. So basically, if it makes you feel good, you can eat it. It should not be about good or bad, right? If it makes you feel good, that's what you need to eat. But if processed foods, if you notice that you feel heavy, especially in certain times of your cycle, then you're going to want to focus on eliminating those processed foods and just getting back to basics. Think like second grade when you were learning what the food pyramid was, okay? I want to keep that in mind. And you're going to find that it's fun, just trying new meals, trying vegetables that you haven't tried in a while. Every week you can say, okay, this week I'm going to add more leafy greens, because leafy greens are very important for detoxing estrogen. If you have estrogen dominance, you're going to want to be focusing on that all the time. So adding in a salad, once or twice a week, make that your focus. That is what crowding out is. And then you're slowly going to continue adding things and crowding out those things that you do not want to have in your diet anymore. I'm going to try not to stay on this for too long, because I could talk about food forever. I love food. I love to eat, and I've become a lover of breakfast, okay? If you are someone who struggles with eating, this could be difficult. It could be a challenge for you, and I want to honor that, and I empathize with that, because a lot of us with PCOS have been told to stop eating. So I know for a fact for myself, that's something that I was told and that I heard in the doctors, that I just needed to eat less. So trust me, I know it can be hard to start nourishing your body, but just believe that your body deserves to be nourished. You got to start there with that belief of what you deserve, and start, drowning out those other voices in your head. Because trust me, girl, I know that it can be hard to change these habits, but slowly but surely it will get easier throughout the process. So, you just got to start, and I'm always here if you need some accountability. If you want to just slide in my DMs or comment below and be like, girl, I'm struggling, I got you, okay? And we can talk through it. With that being said, I think it's very important to note that, especially for women of childbearing age, having a protein-rich, protein healthy, protein heavy, if you will, breakfast is going to impact your fertility, your hormone balance in the most positive way, okay? Even if you're not a breakfast person, having 30 grams of protein could be could look like having a protein shake, right? Before you work out, or before you start your morning, before you have your morning coffee. That is going to satiate you for at least a few hours, so that you don't feel hungry all the time. Because I know that's an issue with PCOS, is just feeling like you want to snack all the time, you want to eat all the time, you can never be full, but then you're also, stuck at this weight and just feeling bad. It can be hard. But trust me, by making these small adjustments, you will start to see these changes that will make it all worth it. Having that protein-rich breakfast is also great for optimal egg quality. So if you're on your fertility journey, you're also going to want to strive for that 30 grams of protein as well. Especially if you incorporate working out with your PCOS and strength training, you're going to want to make sure you're fueling your body, giving yourself enough protein to build muscle. So what does the balanced breakfast look like? What you're going to focus on is PHF. PHFF stands for protein, healthy fats, and fiber. Those are what you're going to focus on all the time, okay? So just drill that in your head. You're going to want to make sure you have protein in every meal. You're going to want to have like a healthy fat, like avocados, olive oil is a healthy fat, coconut oil, you could have beans. And fiber, you're going to want to have in the form of quinoa or having some greens, any type of vegetables or fruits that you can add to your plate to make it more colorful, definitely is going to want to be something that you're focusing on. So again, this is going to look like less processed foods and more whole foods, nutrient dense foods, because a lot of us with PCOS also struggle with mineral deficiencies. You're going to want to get your blood work definitely so that you can see exactly what you're struggling with and what your root cause is. That will help you to determine as well what your diet, your optimal diet should look like. But yeah, before we move on, I don't want to harp too much on the breakfast thing, but just make sure you're having a breakfast that's balanced. Just try to front load that protein in the morning, because if you don't, it can be hard to keep your hormones balanced, because when we are hungry, our bodies see that as stress and it can spike your cortisol levels, which is just going to put you on that loop of just those same symptoms, experiencing those same symptoms of like fatigue, never feeling full, tired all the time, or bloated. So you're just going to want to try to prevent that. Okay, so next what we're going to focus on is the mind-body connection. And this is going to help you lead to hormone harmony. So with PCOS, it is a reproductive health issue, but it really just deals with our hormones. It's just an imbalance in the natural fluctuation of the hormones. I'm going to put a graph up here as well, because I know it can be just really confusing. But for starters, we have three main hormones that are in our cycle. One is testosterone, one is estrogen, and one is progesterone. So these are the main three hormones that you hear about. A lot of women who have PCOS may experience estrogen dominance, which could look like things like, having tender breast. You could also experience PMS, cramping. This could look like heavy bleeding. And then there's also testosterone dominance. And what that looks like sometimes could be male patterned facial hair, just excessive facial hair, things like that, hormonal acne. But regardless of what your symptoms are, that blood work is going to help you determine where you're at, like what your baseline is if you're experiencing these symptoms. So you're going to want to make sure that you're asking your doctor for a full hormone panel. Women's hormone panel, they should know exactly what that means. If you want more details, comment below and I can tell you exactly what tests you should be doing or you should be asking for. Now, not all of your doctors are going to do this, but if you go to a functional health doctor, which I know can also be expensive, you can order some of these tests yourself. It just is a matter of getting them read. So the test that I did to see where my hormones was at was the Dutch hormone test. I say all that to say, basically, these hormones play a part in how we feel, how our cycle progresses along, when we ovulate, and when our period starts. My progesterone was just was just really low, and my estrogen was pretty high. And so that, to me, looked like experiencing irregular cycles, sometimes not having a cycle every month, or knowing when my cycle was going to come. I don't remember always having this issue. It just kind of onset in like 2018, but I think it was just a matter of chronic stress, just stress in my body over time, not being processed, which is another reason why I say that, or why I believe that PCOS is also linked to childhood trauma, because when it's unaddressed, it can leave extra stress in our body. That's why I always feel like PCOS is it's not just about the food we eat. It's not just about, our weight. It is literally about the makeup of our bodies and how we respond to stress. Because for me, stress is a big trigger for my symptoms. And if you think about your symptoms, just think, when you're stressed out, do you feel worse during the month? Do you have a hard time, the week or two before your period, feeling bloated and just like out of it? It could be because of unaddressed trauma, unaddressed feelings, and our natural way of handling stress. Some of us stress eat, some of us don't eat at all. Some of us binge, on negative things, and it just doesn't help our bodies because of how they're set up. And I know it sucks because it's like, why can't I just be like everyone else? Why can't I just, feel stressed and not have my body just flare up, or it's like your body is against you. But in this process, what I've learned is that when I can learn how my body is cyclical, and when I can learn really what my body uses and needs to feel the best, it helps me to feel like I'm loving on my body for just how it is. And that's the thing, like having PCOS can make you hate your body really easy because it's a hard thing to deal with. But the most important thing you can do is just have patience with yourself while you're learning to deal with your symptoms, because you can deal with them. That's for sure. Don't ever feel like you cannot deal with this or if it's too much. I also would consider getting a therapist. But once you get a hold of the mind and body connection, you'll see that the stress really does play a big part in your hormone balance and in your symptoms. So yeah, just finding what works for you. I have a lot of resources on my page as well that I post on TikTok. I posted a video on a breathwork technique that I learned in school called the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Just things to calm your body down. Slowing down is important, having slower moments where you get to, fit in that balanced breakfast. That's going to start helping you feel better, and just having time for you. I talk a lot about in my last YouTube video as well on being your it girl era. Make sure you go check that out. But yeah, slowing down helped my symptoms a lot, and whatever works for you is going to be different. It might be getting up and going for a walk. It might be, having a night routine that's going to help you to unwind from the day. But whatever it is, definitely take the time to explore and discover, and just give yourself grace through that process. The other thing I'm going to say before I move on to the next topic is just to know that reversing your symptoms does take time, okay? Because our bodies are basically like telling us, like I said, that your period is like a vital sign. So at the same time though, what's happening in this current cycle is literally a result of maybe like 90 days ago. So maybe even 3 cycles ago. Think about what you were doing, what kind of foods you were eating. Were you really heavy on greasy foods and stuff? And maybe now you're experiencing really heavy cramps or something like that, because our bodies kind of take that long to process through these things. So it could take up to 3 months to see changes in your cycle once you start making these changes, but just stick it out and trust that it's going to be worth it. Okay, so let's talk about it. We're all just girls, at the end of the day, I'm just a girl with my pink microphone recording on my pink iPad. Like, what do you guys expect from me?
And don't forget, I'm also just a girl.
Okay, no, I'm just kidding. All those things are true. I am just a girl, but we're also baddies, and we've got to take care of ourselves by moving our bodies. Move our bodies. Move your body. Have you moved your body today? Have you? Have you drank water today? Are you staying hydrated? Just asking as a big sis, because I love you. But moving your body, I'm sitting right now, okay? And I sit for work for 8 hours of the day. Well, I used to, until I got a standing desk, one that will sit but also will stand with me. And I also got a walking pad, which leads me into our next topic, which is having a tailored exercise routine. So I know it can be overwhelming as well with the workout girlies on TikTok. They have the sets and the reps and the dumbbells and the kettlebells and just like all the things and the stair steppers and the walking pads. It's a lot. I got you. It's a lot. It is. Find what works for you. My biggest things for PCOS is not doing intense workouts. Not to say that you can't be out here lifting weights, but if it's going to spike your cortisol really quickly, so like HIIT workouts and things like that, it may not be like the best thing for you. Now, everybody's body's different. If you have PCOS and you have reversed your symptoms and you're still doing HIIT, bravo. Like, I'm so happy for you, honestly. But for me, I dreaded it. My body dreaded it. I just did not like the feeling that I had after doing these really high intensity workouts. And sometimes even women can even like have mid-cycle spotting and things like that when they're working out too intense. And that's just another sign from our body that you just need to slow down and maybe do some tweaking of your workout split or your workout routine, whatever you're doing. So for me, what that looks like is strength training. Even though I don't really like it, you know, we just want to be girls. We don't want to lift all the weights all the times and do all the things. I know we want to be Pilates girlies, which is cool too. Pilates is great. It is a good way to maybe work out in your luteal phase, which is when you are about to be on your period. So, you know, you're slowing down. You might want to do some Pilates. Definitely going to want to do some yoga in there in that time as well to slow down, and walking. But when you're not on your period or when you're not in your luteal phase, you're probably going to have more energy. Like when you're ovulating and everything is just like, oh, it feels good, right? Everything is just like fiery and glittery and you're just like in a fever dream all the time. That's when you're going to want to do your strength training. That's when you're going to want to do your boxing. That's when you're going to want to try a new workout, okay? Do some cardio, go for a run. When you're ovulating, when you're in your follicular phase, these phases just feel like heaven on earth, right? And then we have the other 2 weeks where we're just like in hell. No, just kidding. Our bodies do go through these cycles, and because the hormonal changes, our bodies are more prone to doing certain things. I'm not going to get too into depth on different phases of the cycle because that's going to be another video, but just know that you can also tailor your workouts specifically to what phase of your cycle you're in, and you'll also see improvements in your body. You know, if you're trying to do body recomposition and things, that is also something really to focus on because we're girls. We can't be on the man's clock all the time, okay? It's just not fair. You're gonna want to maybe do some research on that as well. But again, I'm definitely going to recommend strength training, weightlifting, things that are going to help to build muscle, because muscle is really, 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 really important for managing weight. It's really good for maintaining your weight. It's really good for helping to burn fat. And it's also going to protect your brain, which is important in the long term for things like dementia, Alzheimer's, and stuff like that. So you can just do yourself a favor by doing a couple squats, girly. I hate squats. I hate squats. Just a song because I hate squats. I hate squats. I have the worst, like I have the thickest thighs, but that's why, because I hate squats. Still to this day, I could do a lot more strength training myself, but when I do, I notice that my symptoms are better. It just helps me to get my energy out as well. And when I work out, I sleep better also. It's going to be pivotal in this journey of reversing your symptoms. But as I always say, you're going to find what works for you. You're going to find something that you like to do. That might be playing tennis. You could like to, I don't know, play pickleball, whatever it is that keeps your body moving. Give yourself that time. Start small. I'm not a person who can work out for an hour. I'm sorry. I just can't. I did Pilates classes. Those are more like 45, 50 minutes. I can tough it through. I got to have at least a 15-minute warm up or warm down in there too though. But that's another thing for PCOS. You're not going to want to be working out for like really long extended times in the beginning. Maybe you can work yourself up to that, but you're going to want to keep it under like 45 minutes. For me, I started with like 5-minute videos and I worked my way up to 10-minute videos because I do the videos on YouTube, Grow with Joe, things like that. Yoga with Bird, Pilates classes. You can find it all on YouTube. Here on the tube. You know, then you work your way up to 15, 30 minutes and so on. You can do it, babes. I believe in you. Next on the list of things that you can do to unlock your wellness with PCOS is taking holistic supplements for hormonal health. So, oh my goodness. First things first, there is no one magical supplement for PCOS. Let me just let the record reflect.
We'll take a 5-minute recess. Well, then y'all better focus because I want order.
There's no magic supplement for PCOS. You're not just going to take one little supplement and all your symptoms go away. I'm sorry. I hate to burst your bubble because that was me. That was me. I was literally on Amazon, on Google, like, what supplement can I take to just take all this away? Give me my period back. Try them all. I have tried them all. And, you know, some of them worked. Some of them were a waste of money. But the main thing is going to be testing. Get your blood work done because that's also going to give you a big look into what deficiencies you may have and what minerals you want to be replacing. Again, a lot of girls with PCOS are mineral deficient, and it could be because of our diet, but it's also just because of the way our bodies are set up. Vitamin D, having omega-3s are going to help with inflammation, taking turmeric for inflammation, inositol for insulin sensitivity and egg quality. There's like a plethora of supplements out there that you can take. I also have done berberine, which is good for blood sugar support, because that's another thing. Along with cortisol, there's blood sugar. So you're going to want to get that stabilized when you are trying to manage your symptoms, because that can really improve things and help you to stabilize your weight, your mood, all those things. When I went to the functional medicine doctor, I found out that I was pre-diabetic. A1C levels were elevated to a pre-diabetic level, and so we really needed to detox. We really needed to focus on detoxing my liver of excess estrogen, working on balancing my blood sugar, because that is also why women with PCOS are more susceptible to having diabetes, is because PCOS is also associated with insulin sensitivity, which has to do with how our bodies process sugar. So when we have too much sugar left in our bloodstream, that can cause elevated blood sugar levels. It can also cause inflammation, and your girl was at risk for a cardiac event. And I know that like I say that kind of like, but it's serious. I was 26 at this time, and they were telling me that I was at risk for a cardiac event. I really had to just, because you can try things so many times, and not give it your full effort. But I really at that point said to myself, I'm not trying any longer. This is not an option. I have to do this. I have to change my habits. And I don't want you to get to that level before you change. I don't want the doctor to have to tell you that you are diabetic and that you need to be on diabetic medicine for the rest of your life. I want you to be able to take control of your health. Part of the reason why I'm making this video. So again, I encourage you to get your blood work done and just do your research. These things, the TikTok girlies or these influencers, they're just going to tell you what worked for them, which is of course great, but they're also going to, they could be suggesting supplements that might make your symptoms worse. You're going to want to make sure that you're not just out here taking supplements for any reason. You're going to want to make sure that it's based on exactly what minerals you're deficient in. I could recommend, 4 main supplements. Turmeric or curcumin is what I take. Omega-3. I have a supplement for stress response, and then I also have a multivitamin. So those are just baseline you might want to have on handy if you struggle with inflammation. Definitely going to need the omega-3s in there. That fatty acid is going to help with brain health and tons of other things, egg quality. So just make sure you're doing your research. But that's another way that you can fuel your body and help to balance your hormones. And that brings me to my last tip of this video, which is sleep hygiene for hormonal regulation. We all know that sleep is not easy. Some of us have insomnia. I used to. I definitely used to have insomnia. Now, you really can't even catch me outside of my bed after 10 o'clock. Sleep hygiene is so important. Just like not eating can cause stress in your body, poor sleep hygiene can also cause your cortisol levels to be higher because your sleep-wake cycle is off. And your body needs rest. Your body needs rest. Like, we do so much work all day. I just want you to know that you deserve rest, and you deserve to prioritize your rest. If you're tired all the time, that just means that you may be experiencing some increased stress levels. Chronic stress, if you can help it, it's just not worth it. The impacts it has on your body and just like regulating everything is major. So if there's one thing you can do for yourself, is get some sleep, girly. Get some sleep, okay? And then this is my thing. Romanticize this shit. Romanticize the fuck out of going to sleep, okay? It's not just about sleeping. It's about what happens before you go to sleep. Setting yourself up so that you can have a nice slumber and wake up feeling like the queen of the world, as you should. What do I look like before I go to bed? I should probably insert a picture for you guys. It's not the cutest, okay? Sleep mask, earplugs in, and soon it'll be a night guard in, because I'm just that girl, okay? My sensory girlies, you understand the light. I can't with the light, you know? And then I also gotta have my brown noise. I put it on YouTube. I want to get the hatch really bad. So if you guys, anybody wants to get me a hatch, please do. Yeah, it's just giving a lot. It's giving grandma. It's a whole thing. I gotta have my drink beside my bed. I gotta take my little magnesium. Some nights I might do a sleepy girl mocktail. My wife has gotten into it too. We love being in the bed, like, you know, just wiggling our toes at 10 o'clock, watching some shows. It's amazing. You can also start dimming the lights at a certain time to kind of prepare yourself, get you some blue light glasses so that if you are looking at your phone, it's not really like hopefully penetrating your eyes that bad, so that you can really calm your body down, give your body signals that it's time to go to sleep. The blue light, y'all, is terrible, okay? It messes up your melatonin production and impact your sleep-wake cycle. So just make sure you're trying to minimize the phone time before bed. I also have filters on my phone that I turn on after a certain time. Minimize the blue light. You might have like a dark mode. Some people leave their phones out of the bedroom. I'm not that girl, at least not yet. But yeah, definitely gonna want to start minimizing the screen time. Get into what works for you. If you like to read, maybe have your nighttime as the time that you read before bed. You might want to have some sleepy tea before bed. Do your like skincare, full routine, night routine. Put on a sleep mask. Just really romanticize it. Sleepy girl mocktail in a wine glass. Magnesium. Magnesium is amazing. I should have put that in the supplement section probably, but magnesium is amazing. Magnesium glycinate is great for sleeping. I don't really recommend taking melatonin because it does impact your body's ability to produce its own, but to each their own. All these things, you know, improving your sleep hygiene is going to improve your body's ability to manage your PCOS. All the tips I just gave you are going to help your body to manage your symptoms naturally just by giving it an extra boost. You know, it's like you notice where these things are happening. You're not sleeping, you know, you're hungry all the time. Okay, what can I do? Little things here and there to help these symptoms to transform, to help myself transform, to help reverse these symptoms. Really hope that you guys like this video. I hope it helped. If it did, comment below and let me know. I can't wait to make more of these videos. You already know. Keep tuning in. I'm so happy that I am in the position to share this information with you guys. I wish I would have had someone to just give me all the tips and break it down like this, but that's why I'm here. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Audio Jungle.